Back in the 60s when I first started in business, I did auto interiors for a Volkswagen dealership where I did interiors on their used cars, and then I used to also customize new cars. Actually, when the Volkswagen thing first came out, I used to put custom interiors and make custom tops and do that type of thing for things back then. And in the 80s, my wife Michelle and I wanted to fix up a car for our beach cabin down in Mexico. After we finished it, Hot VWs did an article about how we'd built this car. We started receiving phone calls at our upholstery business from owners of Volkswagen things asking where they could get parts to fix their car up like mine was. So I decided that I'd start acquiring parts and reselling them. And business kept growing and growing, and it got to the point where our upholstery business that we were in, we did aircraft and auto interiors, kind of phased out, and now we're just strictly in the Volkswagen Thing parts business. The Thing Shop has the largest selection of parts in the world, including the Volkswagen factories or warehouses. I've gone all over the world and bought up as many parts as I can possibly find. We went down to Puebla, Mexico, and they had a large inventory there at the factory, and I bought 7 tractor trailer loads of sheet metal for the cars. Over in Germany, I've gone to their destruction center and bought quite a few items that were going to be destroyed, and luckily I was able to acquire them, and now when you need some parts for your car, hopefully we'll have exactly what you need. Our goal here at the Thing Shop is to continue to supply owners of Volkswagen Thing with parts that will make them more fun to drive. And we're constantly trying to design new parts and maintain enough inventory to keep the cars running for a long time. Most of the time our orders are taken by telephone. We offer an 800 phone number service so that you can just call up and we can talk to you about your car and what you may or may not need. Of course, we get a lot of internet stuff also. The day your order comes in, if we have it in stock and you've placed it early enough in the day, we do try to ship that same day and get it out to you in a package that will arrive to you in good condition. Our employees here know that if our customer's happy with what we send out, they get it on a timely basis and it's in good condition and it's what they expect, they'll come back and order from us again. And I think that's been the key to our success here at the Thing Shop.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Our internet guy works at this area. We're working on our website to get it up to date to where it'll be real easy for you to order your parts directly from us over the internet. By the way, right here is where we make our videos. This is our upstairs display room. We're still setting it up, but we've got some of our items up here to show you. This is a little pad that goes under the back seat, goes under your cushion and on top of the springs. It's a factory item, we have those. There's one of our seat pads, of course, our duct boards. This is a genuine Volkswagen 73 exhaust system. Right now I've got some stainless steel 73 sets coming out of Germany. These are our sliding side curtains. This one happens to be the front. This is the rear, our bamboo trays. And this one's bamboos, the plastic one. Our reproduction side curtains in all the colors with a flap that opens. This is a soft rear. This is our front bar that supports the lights. Hood rack, skid plate. This is our brush guard. These are the original flag holders that went on the car. And then our bumpers, front and rear, seat tracks. This is the bag that goes on the hood of your car. These are our decal sets that we sell, the thing that goes down the side or the stroke stripe. Over on this side, we've got our sheet metal so you can see what all we have in stock. We actually have more inventory than this, but these are some of the items that we have if you're having a rust problem or you've had an accident and you need to replace some of your sheet metal. I think we have about 8 different styles of t-shirts, so if it's birthday time or something, or if you want to get some shirts, give us a call. We have a lot of different styles. This display here is some Army items that I have. If you're trying to get that military look, these are kind of cool. I have a few sets of these. They're a big light that some people are putting on their front fenders. This is our shipping department.
Basically, we put the orders together and box them up, and they're signed off twice by 2 people because we don't want any mistakes.
And we try to get our orders out the same day if we have the item in stock. A lot of times we do. Sometimes it goes to the next day. Our shelves are all set up with Volkswagen part numbers. You can see our shelves are full of parts. When I find some inventory that I think I can resell, I have to buy all I can get, so we end up filling up a building pretty fast. Of course, we try to have as much original factory stuff as possible, and when we don't find the factory parts, we sometimes find a vendor that actually supplied Volkswagen that had some stuff left, we buy that. But anytime that we find that there's an item that customers need to keep their car in good working order and looking good, we reproduce it if we think there will be a potential for sales on it. So we're working hard on engineering new tooling and producing the parts that you may still need.
Over here is where we do our convertible tops and side curtains. We have these manufactured back east. We put our own straps on, and the unique thing about our convertible tops, this is something the factory did, they actually built in a metal bar that goes inside the vinyl. This already has one in it. And with this bar built in, it keeps the back edge from scalloping going up and down when tension's pulled on the convertible top. It makes them real strong. Now we developed this pattern from a genuine Volkswagen convertible top. Our back windows are double heat seam and they're large. The material is Volkswagen Cabriolet finish. They turn out real nice. They really fit well.
This is our 40-ton rule die press. We use it to make our mats and cut a lot of our vinyl items to an exact shape. Now, these other holes are fun, we just need to push them out by hand. If you notice, there's a rib backing on the back side here. That makes them ventilate, and then this is a smooth linen finish on the front. Thank you, Maria. This is our side curtain area, and this is where we actually do our assembly. So if they fit in too tight, just take a little razor blade and shave this urethane off a little bit. Our frames are all either laser cut or CNC punch, so they're always accurate. The holes are all in the correct place, and then we send them out for a powder coating so that inside your vinyl, these frames won't rust or anything. He's working on a top frame here, cleaning up some burrs and stuff on it. But this is a frame the way it comes in. Now, if your frame has bends in it like this one does, what we can do is straighten it out and put an overlay on here, our frame stiffener, and fix it. But the main thing is, when you ship us a top frame, make sure that it's not rusted out. If this header bow is rusted out, you really should replace the top frame. Back here's our tire equipment. What we do, we end up with a lot of wheels and tires from customers. We actually strip the tires off the wheels, put them on the balance machine, make sure that the wheels are straight, and then we have a mandrel that we put them on and straighten the wheels and grind them, smooth them up, and then we set them out for powder coat. When we get them back from the powder coated, they're painted to silver like the original was, and then we ship them to you. They look like the originals did. This is our press brake machine, and the die in here right now is a punch that we use for punching out your speaker plates, the front or rear speakers, and we use this for forming our sheet metal as we go. This is an assembly area of our shop where we build our speaker panels. This is the front speaker. This is our little machine shop. We have a couple of Bridgeport type mills. We use it for machining our tooling and for some of our parts that we make. This is our blast equipment that we use to take old parts and clean them up. We recondition a lot of parts before we ship them out. In here we have our grinding equipment. We have a polishing wheel for polishing stainless steel, fine refinishing tools, and this is our pencil sharpener here. And then this is our welding area. We have wire feed welders. We build our exhaust systems back in this area. We have all our tubing parts built in quantity. Then we put them in a jig fixture and weld them up. Down on the end we have Heliart. A lot of our parts need to be Heliart. Our top latches, we Heliart the pins in them so they won't come out. It looks real good and it's real strong. Thanks for watching this video and giving us the opportunity to tell you about the parts that we offer for your car. If you have an idea of a part that you think would work well on a thing, if you'd give me that tip, I'd sure appreciate it. If you have a chance, stop by and see us. We'll be glad to show you around and show you what we do and how we put out the parts for your car. Thank you. We sure appreciate all your business. Now that you've got a thing project to work on, here's the items that I think are very essential to fix your car up. First off, the Gibbs spray is a penetrant that I found a customer turned me on to. And this, you spray on nuts and bolts before you go to take it apart, and you'll have a much easier time and much more enjoyable time working on your car if you can get the nuts and bolts out of it. So I strongly recommend you have a can of Gibbs for that. Secondly, when you're working on your car, you need to be able to communicate with us. I'll pull this book out and show it to you. You can see it's the microfiche from Volkswagen. It has a breakdown of all the different parts of the car. It's got drawings of each piece or nut, bolt, screw, whatever's on it, and then it has a description. So when you call us up and you say, hey, I need this little clip that goes on the fenders, you can look up number 4, here's the part. Real good for communicating with us. The other item that we have is a service manual, and it's got a lot of pages in here that we've inserted that tell how to work on your car. This particular page tells you how to work on your fuse box and what each wire hooks to and what each fuse represents. This book is just extremely handy for doing the service work. It also comes with a wiring diagram that's in color. Well, let's read the contents here. It's got body, brakes, electrical, the gas heater, which is in the 73 and an option on the 74, transmission and suspension, fuel EGR system, technical info, engine ignition system, front suspension and steering. So this will help you through getting your car restored. A question we've got a lot of times is, what are the paint codes? And in it we have all the paint codes for you. Then the Thing Shop also puts out a video, and you've got the video right now that you're watching on our accessories. We also put out a seat and top video, how to install and how to put your top on your car and that type of thing. This is our area where we have our rubber products. Most everything that we sell is actually manufactured to factory specifications or better. They're sure to fit and look good on your car and last a long time. We have just about any rubber item you need for your car, whether it's an extruded piece or a molded piece. We have all the trim that goes around the body and just about every item you can think of.
This is the rubber beading that starts underneath the windshield frame, goes down the door all the way around to the other side of the car. The beading on top of doors, of course, sits on top of the doors on the knife edge, and it's knock-on beading. All you have to do is press it on. Same goes for the beading that goes on top of the rear seat. We also have the seals for the upper and lower windshield. These are the same seal that slide into the frame and keep the water from coming inside of your car. We have the weather strip for the windshield glass, the front windshield. This is an aftermarket seal that's much cheaper than the original, works just as well. The seal for the upper instrument panel sits on the body underneath the windshield. It's also another seal to keep water from coming into your car. The left door weather strip and right door weather strip can be purchased individually or in a set to save you money. Door pocket beading goes inside of each door. Ordering one set is enough to do the whole car. We also have fender welt. The aftermarket welt is what we call fiberglass fender welt, and the original style fender welt works with metal fenders. The weather strip from the front hood and a rear deck seal. And we also have the weather strips or seals for the engine compartment. This is the rear seal, the front seal. Now if you have a 74 or later thing, you have intake ducts on the back of your car, and this is the beading that goes between the duct and the body. If you're doing a pan-off restoration, you're definitely going to need a seal body to pan for when you put your pan and the body back together. All of these are available individually or in kits, and the kit prices you generally save about 10% off the individual price.
Our show bars, we go to a lot of trouble to wrap those up so that when you receive them they're not scratched up. We actually spend about a half hour to 40 minutes a piece just wrapping those. The important thing is that when it's all done that they put padding here on these front posts. When you have a side impact, if you don't have this padding, you could hit your head on it and have a problem. But these are really great. We don't call them a roll bar because we don't want somebody to go out and try to roll their car and think they're going to get saved by it, but it does give your car some protection. These are some of our tubing products, bumpers, that type of thing. This is a replacement for the factory stamped out bumper. These are made out of tube steel. Some people like the off-road look. They've been real popular in the past, so we just brought them out again, and I think we'll be selling a lot of those. This is a little Nerf bar that goes down the side instead of a running board. Gives it that off-road look. And this is the back bumper. On our rear bumpers, we make them so the original style exhaust or header can come out right between your bumper. By the way, we make these bumpers in the same width as original, or we make them in wider widths if you have the fiberglass fender. So tell us what you need and we probably have them in stock. We make them in 4 inches overall wider, 8 inches overall wider, and then of course the stock ones. And that's front and rear. These two bumpers are a bit less expensive than the originals. Duck boards.
These are our wood slat duck boards made out of oak. They have a teak oil finish on them. What happens, your dirt or mud or snow falls through the floor, and they don't rattle. They've got a felt strip on the back side of them, and we've sold an awful lot of these.
We sell a lot of floor pans, and we are going to start selling them with the seat tracks and probably the jack portion welded in place. We sell a lot of these slip-on seat covers. These are machine washable. They're real easy to put on and take off. It's nice to not sit on the hot vinyl when you sit down in shorts or whatever. Our upholstery sets are all made up in advance in large quantity. Everything's cut exact and sewn up precisely, and I think you'll like the way our stuff fits. These are our bras and different top boots, that type of thing. This is a little door stop that goes on your striker plate, a little wedge. We still have some factory genuine mirrors. They cost a little more, the chrome's a little brighter. I do have a nice reproduction that I bring out of Germany that is pretty close to those, but you can't beat the genuine on the mirrors. On your door you have a check strap, and when your door opens up, it comes out and hits this piece of rubber. This bar pulls through and hits here. You'll find that the cars are 25 plus years old now, and we sell these rubber kits to make your door stop work better. That's a common problem. A new item that we've just come out with is our stainless steel top latch. The problem with the past, the pins would fall out, and we actually take and heliarc the pins in so they won't fall out on you. These are, like I say, made of stainless steel. We also can paint these in black if you want them in black. You can identify them by our information on the back. Lifetime warranty, and you have any problem, just send them back to us, but I don't think we'll ever get a set back. They should last forever. This is a cool item. These are a seatbelt retractor. After about 5 years, most people threw them away. Well, I found these in Germany. I've got a few of those left. They're pretty cool. Have the little rubber strap that goes under the back seat, pulls down tight. These are the real good high quality rubber that holds up in the heat and they don't rot out. Acapulco top frame, that Surrey top that they had, we've reproduced the posts. Those fell off of a lot of cars and needed replacing. This is a cool item. These are our seat track runner strips that go on the seat tracks. And if your seats aren't sliding properly, these are a great replacement. We couldn't get them anywhere in the world, and we actually went out, paid for the tooling, and are reproducing those now. We have just come out with our new wiper blade that is a major improvement over what the factory did. This factory blade, as you all know if you've had them, the little rubber piece just falls off in about a year. Well, we've come out with a modern wiper assembly that you can change the insert on. So you can go and get an Anco insert and put on, or you can get a triple rubber insert or whatever you want. We also, of course, are selling the inserts for them. But, I mean, when you're out on a trip and you've got something wrong with your wiper blade, you can just change them. Where with these, you were just out of luck unless you had an extra set with you. The wiper arms, they're getting a little rare. We may be coming out with these again pretty soon. We still have a few of them in stock for people that need to replace them. What happened, a lot of people have modified the way this arm is out here on the end, and they won't take the factory blades anymore, or they've been cut down over and over again and they're getting too short. So we have those in stock for you. These are our exhaust system parts. We have some pretty cool bumper stickers. We've had those for years. They're real popular. This is our product, mirror glaze. It's a clear plastic cleaner used in the aircraft industry. It's great for cleaning your back window or your soft windows on your car and taking scratches out, that type of thing. There's nothing as good as this product from McGuire's. Some of the cars came with radios in them, and they were dealer installed. Sometimes they had a 2-post, sometimes they had a single post. Well, we have both of them, whatever you need. These are our kick panel speakers, and then we have the speakers for the rear as well. We actually cut these out on a die so they fit exactly into place on your car. And these are some Heil speakers that we're currently using. We use a real heavy monster cable so that you can run some power to your speakers, and they work real well. We can't seem to keep these in stock. We do have some old German stuff, a little bit if you guys call. We have some shovels and just a few eyeball items that we usually take those to shows and sell them a little bit. A lot of the old cars, the jacks are going bad on. These are original VW jacks. They're Type 2. They lift your car the correct height. Some of the cars actually came with a handle built onto the jack, and some of them had a separate handle. Come on upstairs, I'll show you around up here. These are the correct seat paddings. They're made out of coconut fiber. People call them hair paddings, but they haven't done that in years. Actually, the hair padding, it's an interesting story. Back in the 40s and 50s, they made them out of animal hair, but the plants got infested with rats so bad and disease and all that, they had to quit doing it. So they went to this shredded coconut fiber. What they do, they take the husk off a coconut, they shred it, and then they make it into a rope. Then they store the rope for several months, and that makes this little curly-Q twist on all the fibers. And then they take the rope, shred it, and actually put it onto a mold and shape it with latex, and that's how these are made. There's nothing comparable for a Volkswagen seat to these seat paddings. Volkswagen, Mercedes, Porsche, BMW, everybody has used these paddings for the last 30, 40 years. Next to that is a box of bamboo trays. We had these made over in Thailand. They're really nice. This is a bamboos. They're actually a plastic. They cost a little more, probably last a little longer. These are our seat tracks. We make those in a large quantity so we can afford to have them manufactured. Each one of these is a windshield. We go to extremes to make sure that your windshield comes to you in one piece. We have a special box built for it. Your glass should get there without being cracked. This is cut the correct shape and tolerances to fit the original windshield frame with the correct rubber. Here's our fiberglass fenders. When you receive them, look them over, you'll find some little marks on them. There'll be, looks like cracks. Well, those are mold marks. They just sand right out. You do need to prep sand them and do a little slight amount of body fill and things. There's nothing wrong with the fender. It just looks like it has a problem. This is an inner lip that we have put on our fenders. It's a secondary mold that they do. And most fenders that are out there other than ours just come down and are cut off right here and don't have this lip on it. If you don't have this on a fiberglass fender, they'll crack right through here. Here's a look at the difference between our fenders. They're actually 4 inches wider. What you can do when you receive them is cut them down. If you don't want them a full 4 inches wider, you can come in and mark them. Say you want to cut them 2 inches, put a mark every once in a while at 2 inches. Then take a masking tape and run the tape right along there nice and straight. And then just use a jigsaw to cut this edge so that it's the width you want. Now when you get ready to drill your holes in your fender, you should line the fenders up right next to the original, like this. Then what you want to do is take and mark a line right across, and you know that's where your hole's going to be drilled. And that way it's real easy to locate it. Then mark the same distance in as the holes drilled on your original fender, and that's where you'll put the holes in. Now this technique is the same on the rear. Just put the left up against the right and mark it across, and you'll know where they line up. This needs to be cut out for your turn signal. Now locating your headlight bucket, we don't cut the hole in the front of your fender because we don't know what size you're going to be using. You can either transfer the original headlight bucket over to the fiberglass fender, or at this time, and I don't know how long we'll have them, we're sending out these at no charge. It's a headlight bucket made for Jeep fenders. Now if you mount this in flat, it's going to point up in the air. You're going to need to adjust it down. And I would put the original Volkswagen chrome ring on and eliminate this thing. But these will work for you if you want to use them. Be sure and order the correct fender welt for these. It takes the fiberglass type fender welt. Here's another item that we've come out with. We got requests for years for a good trailer hitch. This trailer hitch will fit 73 or 74, and it'll fit 1600 dual port engines if you don't have a merge header system. So like on a 74, this mounts to underneath your car. This goes up on your cradle mount on your tranny. This bolts to the bottom of your bumper, but it will clear the canister in the back. 74. These have a 2 1/4 or 1 1/4 receiver on them. You can put a bicycle rack on or whatever you want. They're an improvement over the original hitch since they're all welded together and they don't bolt together. This is our skid plate for the front of the car. What it does, it gives you support from the front beam right up to the bumper so that your bumper either won't get pulled off, or if you have an impact from the front, it pushes back against the front beam of your car. These are a very popular product for us. Here's a cool item. This is our new front apron. We actually have the tooling to punch this out. It's the exact shape of the original front apron. We've been out of these for years. The cost has been high, but we actually stepped up and had the tooling made. This is our 150-ton press, and I'm going to show you how we make our front apron for the nose of the car. The steel is the same thickness as the original metal. Forming. You see we got front bumpers, hoods, fenders, doors. This is all original sheet metal. We do have quite a few in stock since we bought a lot of stuff from the factory down in Mexico. We do have the rocker panels. We have inner and outer on the rockers. We also have new rear deck lids, original Volkswagen of course. We have the quarter panels. We have the rear section. This is the front piece that goes right behind the front apron. This is where the gas tank goes. Of course, you're looking at the bottom side right now. This is where it bolts to the frame. Down here are the rear scoops for the 74. These are striker plates for the rear. So this is just inside your engine compartment. We have a lot of lower control arms, new with a ball joint, they're a bargain. We have brand new original upper windshield frames. They're real nice. What happens on the upper windshield frame, they fatigue right here and get bent back in this area. And once they've been bent a couple times, the metal is fatigued and it's pretty hard to ever get them to work right. So we have these here for those of you who want to replace them. These are some rebuilt lower windshield frames that we do. A lot of times, if you notice when you're restoring your car, when you take the rubber out of this lower edge, you'll find there's rust in here. And when that happens, the windshield frame is really trash. So what we do, we take your hinge points back in trade, then we recondition them and weld them onto a whole new structure. These turn out real nice. They're real strong, and we are starting to powder coat them before we ship them. These are our new top frames, just getting ready to go to powder coat. Our welder just finished assembling them. They have new header bows on them that have a galvanized finish to them, so they will not rust. The tooling that made these is exactly correct to the factory specs. On our heavy-duty top frames, these beams here are twice as thick as the original. The hinge points are 1/3 thicker, so they're actually stronger and less apt to fatigue or twist on you. And then when they come back from powder coating, we of course have them ready to ship. We do them with tops or without. Most people of course buy them with our tops completed on there. Here's one of our rebuilt seats in black. Our rebuilt seats are available in all these different colors, and there's a lot of colors here to choose from to match the exterior color of your car. These are our sliding side curtains. On the front windows, it opens in this area, so you can reach through and mail a letter or whatever. On the rear, they open in the back. Your shoulders back. It's really nice. You can ventilate the car with these windows on it. The original car is kind of more like a tent with the plastic windows in it. These with the glass windows, it makes it real nice and comfortable.
The fender protectors are made 4 inches wider than stock in case you have the fiberglass fenders. Otherwise, you can cut them down to fit the stock length. These are a factory original VW Thing sun visors. They're Thing only part, and they are new, and they are Thing shop exclusive. The 15-inch wheel is a 1 inch wider than the stock Thing wheel, and they're new, and they take the same hubcap as your original wheel. To the right is a refurbished factory original wheel. This is our new old stock wiring harness for the front and runs to the headlight buckets to the dash. This is a new old stock instrument panel wiring harness, and it's a Thing shop exclusive. This is the main wiring harness, runs from the front to the rear of the car. It's an aftermarket harness, but it's of high quality and really never had a problem with it. It's a very nice product. This is a complete wiring harness. It's everything you need to rewire your car besides the fuse box. It is also an aftermarket, but just like the main harness, it's a good quality product. This is the gas heater timer switch. It's new old stock. These are brand new switches, and we also have them available used. These are the wiper blades for the Thing. These are made by Bosch, their original equipment.
Shown here is a new wiper motor. We sometimes have these in stock. Call ahead if you want one. If you'd like to get a reconditioned wiper motor, if you send yours in, it'll save you a core charge, and we can send you out a reconditioned one if we have one in stock. They're pretty hard to come by right now.
This is a 1973 and a 1974 wiper switch. Make sure when you order one that you specify which year that you need. This is a turn signal gasket for the Thing. What we've done is we've taken an original Beetle gasket and made the tail longer so it's correct for the Thing. This is the original European accessory socket. It fits right in your dash and is made in Germany. This is the cover for the fuel tank sending unit. We have these available new and used. The new ones are NOS, never been put on a car. This is a dust cover for your generator. These are some body to chassis mounting bolts. These are available as well as a variety of other nuts and bolts to keep your Thing all original. These are rear seat springs, what we call a zigzag spring. These have been powder coated, sandblasted, and then powder coated black. This is a rear seat wire support. It works with a zigzag spring to support your rear seat. These have been powder coated black. These are rear seat rubber buffers. These go behind the backrest of the rear seat in the body and buffer it so the back seat doesn't rub against the body. You need 8 of these for a car. These are front seat return springs. This is the spring that helps you pull your seat forward when you're trying to adjust it. On the left is a used one, and on the right is a new old stock one. These are top frame covers, left and right. They keep you from snagging your clothes on your top frame while the top is down, and they also protect it so when you put the boot on, the top frame won't poke through the boot. These are made out of molded ABS plastic. These are convertible top body loops. Some aftermarket hardtops required you to cut these off of the car to fit the hardtop on the car. Original VW hardtops fit over these. If you need these, they are available, and you need 15 per car if yours have been cut off. These are top frame pivot posts. What this is a replacement for the pivot posts on your car where the top frame mounts to the body. These could have been cut off if someone put an aftermarket hardtop on your car that required them being removed. We manufacture these here, and they're really strong. These are body bead end caps. The original end caps were plastic but broke after a few years of use. So what we've done is remanufacture them here in brass and coat them in a black finish so it looks original. A set of 10 is what you need for your car. These are the kick plates for the inside of your car. We manufacture these here, and when we send them to you, we also send the mounting screws. These are brass seatbelt hooks. The original hooks were plastic but had a tendency to break with very little use. So we've had these cast in brass, and they will last forever. These are our new front seat belts. These are our new aftermarket rear seat belts. These are lower windshield frame latches. They are available new and used. These are rubber buffers for the lower windshield frame latch. They keep your windshield at the right angle, one of the pieces of rubber that holds it at the right angle. They fit in the lower catch, the lower latch, right in there. This piece of cardboard is what's used in the defrost system of 73 and 74 thing. This particular one is new old stock. We also have these available used, left or right. These plastic pieces are original VW protectors for the hose that runs along the center tunnel of a 74, the heater hose. They keep your feet from banging against it and damaging the flex hose. These are rubber trunk plugs. There's 2 of these per car. They sit on either side of your gas tank in the trunk area. This is the spare tire bracket with the stud sticking in the middle of it. The spare tire bracket is available new or used, and the studs are available used. This is a new old stock battery hold down. Its function is to keep the battery from sliding forward on your floor pan. And these are available new, and occasionally we'll have them used. These are new front and rear brake lines. The front ones are the longer ones. The front ones are very hard to find, and we have to actually import these from Europe. This is the brake reservoir protection plate. These are available new old stock as well as used. These are original Volkswagen protective bows. They mount to your front bumper and to the front apron of your car. They bolt right here on the front of your car. Every one of these cars has a bolt plate right underneath here. And what you got to do is just bore out the front, and then there's a plate underneath. And there's bolt holes over on the end of the bumper where they go. And you can put an American flag, state flag, whatever you want to put on there. They were used on the convoy cars over in Germany. They came on all the military things in Europe, and we also have them available for civilian cars now. These are rubber stops for your rear control arm, or commonly referred to as bump stops. These are aftermarket. We have manufactured these, and they're actually a higher quality rubber than the originals. You need 2 per car. This trim piece sits behind your steering wheel. It's new old stock, original VW, and we have these available new. Used, unfortunately, they have a tendency to break when you're trying to remove them. This is a cap, comma horn button, or just a horn button. This is a new old stock one. We also have these available used. These are front tension springs for the front beam. They're a thing-only part, and we have these available new at the moment, but call and check for availability. These are ball joints for a thing. On the left is a Mexican one, and on the right is one manufactured in Germany. They're both of high quality, and we generally have these in stock at all times. This is a lower torsion arm for the front beam. It comes with a ball joint, and it's new old stock. We also have them available used without a ball joint. This is an upper torsion arm for the front beam. It's also new old stock, comes with a ball joint, and is also available used without the ball joint. This is a passenger side air cleaner, which is the stock air cleaner on all things. We have this available new, and we also have it available used. Used air cleaners do not come with the mounting bracket. New ones do. This is a driver's side air cleaner. This air cleaner was an option on a thing. All things have a place to mount the air cleaner. This was recommended for heavy off-road use or desert use. This is the double arm air intake for when you're running two air cleaners, a left and a right one. These are really hard to come by, and these are NOS VW. This is the single intake or the single elbow for just running one air cleaner from the passenger side. We have new and used Volkswagen jacks available. The new jacks have a handle incorporated into it. Remember, whenever you're using a jack, just use it to change your tire. Don't work on your car using these jacks. This is something we just got in. It's a original VW lug wrench, and you need a handle to go with it. We sell the handles separately. However, the handles are only available used.
Here's a toolkit we have now. The label says made in Germany, and it's made by Volkswagen. It has the socket set, the lug nut wrench, a screwdriver with both ends on it, and an open end, and a little pry bar. And these are a nice little addition for the front of your car. Here's a neat part that was a factory Volkswagen option for the VW models. And it's a hubcap puller, but it sits inside your jack slot. Take these and put the two little prongs into your hubcap, then put your tire tool in here and pull up.
This is the warm air intake pipe for your oil bath air cleaner. These are available new or used. Its function is to grab warm air off the exhaust, take it into your air cleaner, and direct it to the carburetor. There's a warm air tube that comes from this spout right here and runs down to a metal housing that picks up hot air from the exhaust system. These are thing door seals or weather strips. The gray one is a factory original NOS one, and the black one is something we manufacture. Both are of high quality and will last you a long time. These are the grommet tubes that run from the body to the front fender. These are thing only, and we reproduce these. These are aftermarket. This is our swing-out tire carrier. It's an exact reproduction of the original accessory swing-out tire carrier from Volkswagen. It comes in a powder-coated black, and comes with all the mounting hardware and pictures to install it with. This is our original style center console, and we also have an aftermarket style center console with two cup holders. Either one will fit in a 73 by just slipping it in. This is our universal radio mounting unit for mounting a stereo underneath the dash. You will have to drill holes in your car for this to fit, but is a cheaper alternative to our radio panel glove box door. We also have stereos. These are our bronze hinge mirror mount sets. What it does, it attaches your mirror to the hinge instead of having it bolted to your car either here or back on your door like they were originally. This is just real strong now. This is a stainless steel door hinge mirror mount. It's one of the earlier ones, but we now have them polished, same finish as the mirror. If you have a 73, this allows you to mount the mirrors on the body, so if you take off your doors for driving, you still have rear view mirrors. And on a 74, the mirrors were originally mounted to the body, and they generally ripped out fairly easily. So to repair that, you can put these on. This is our information label kit. From top to bottom, the first sticker you only need if you have a 73 thing or anything with a gas heater. The sticker below that is the gear shift pattern that mounts to the right of the steering wheel on the dash panel. Below that is the sticker that tells you how much to pressurize your windshield washer reservoir to. Below that is the sticker for the top of the oil bath air cleaner in your engine compartment. The next sticker below goes in the trunk area, and it's just the pertinent information for the vehicle. The orange sticker below that goes in the driver's side door well area, and the last sticker tells you what octane to put into your car.
This is your max load and seating capacity tire size. Goes on the front right hand side under the hood. This little one is your fuel octane. Over on the other side where your windshield washer water goes, this is your spare tire capacity, because your spare tire inflator tube goes on here and goes over to your spare. On the door jamb, there's a red warning label, don't drive your car off-road with the doors off. This car is a 74, but if it was a car with a gas heater, there'd be a sticker here telling you about how to use the heater. Then above the shifter, there's one that tells you how to shift the gears.
These are our reproduction running boards. Running boards were an option on things and came stock on the 74 Acapulcos in the United States. Acapulcos were available earlier than 74, but only in Mexico. If you have running boards already and the covers are just bad on them, we do sell the material separately if you'd like to recover your running boards. And we do offer a reconditioning service where you send your running boards into us, we sandblast them, powder coat them, put new covers on, and send them back to you. These are a nice option. They're made out of heavy gauge steel and are really a high quality product. These are our new large thin plastic toys. What's different about them from our last one is this is a new color, red, which we've never had before. And all of them now come with orange front turn indicators, silver headlamps, and red tail lights. And they also have a black steering wheel, which they didn't have before.
These are remote control cars. The red one is our off-road car called a Monster, and it's real fun in the backyard when you got some dirt clods and little hills to go over and stuff. Where the orange one is our racer, and you can run that in the driveway or on cement or pavement. We have these in 5 different colors: green, yellow, orange, white, and red.
The left-hand mirror for the thing and the right-hand mirror. They are available new or aftermarket. Here are the floaty pins we offer. We have them in blue, yellow, green, white, and orange. And it comes into the thing shop looking old and comes out looking brand new. It's our radio panel glove box door. You have to specify the year when you order this. The 73 and 74 are different. The 73 has a notch cut in it so you can still adjust the gas heater. And if you don't want the radio panel glove box door, we also have a solid glove box door that's a solid panel all the way across. And all glove box doors come with a lock with a key.
This piece right here, right there, goes up and down. You want to push it down, pull this up, push hard, and out. I'll get out, and he'll push it out. And there you have the frame out.
Front seat rebuild. Here's the parts you'll need to rebuild your seats. We'll set these to one side and start off. Make sure that the seats haven't been hammered on in the back. Make sure the mechanism is free and moves side to side. First, we'll start by installing this part on the end of the shaft. Tap it to where it comes through about 1/8 of an inch on the end. Slip the shaft in through the seat frame. Line it up with this tab that's sticking up. Slide the other piece on the end, aligning it correctly. We have a shim here on one end to hold it so we have something to tap against. We use a rubber hammer to tap it on. Make sure that it's aligned. And then we tap it down to where it's 1/8 inch out on that end also. Make sure that it's free and it'll turn all the way around. Now there's these nails that are used to assemble your seat frames. You might need to grind them and sharpen the point on them a little bit. Now we're going to put the cams together. There's a right and a left cam. First we grease the spring that goes on this alignment pin. And that piece makes it so that as you adjust your cam, it'll hold in each position. Make sure you put it in the correct spot. And then your rubber buffers that you took out, you'll need to glue back into the same position they were in. There's that little cutout. And we're using some super glue. You could use silicone if you'd like. Clear silicone works fine. Use a razor blade to trim off the edges. That's the position that your backrest normally sits in, but this is an adjustable backrest so that you can lean it back if you wanted to. Now you put your shaft in, aligning the holes to where that you can drive your nail back through. You've already taken these apart, so you should have paid attention to how it was disassembled. Now that has the flat cam on the left. That would mean that it'll be the passenger seat. The cam that doesn't have the handle on goes towards the center tunnel. You want to put grease on this rod before you slip it in. He's sliding the hook on, and then he puts on the plastic piece and aligns it. There's a notched out area where the spring will go in. It's been greased and then slided in through the shaft. Align the cam to where it fits into that slot. Move your cam around to where it's in this position. Pop it in. Your plastic alignment pin needs to plug into that area right there. We're using a piece of cloth and a little clamp to hold it in place so we can work on the other side. Now we're going to install the adjustable cam side and the hook. You notice it fits on over that pin. You want that hole in the cam to line up with the hole that's in the shaft. You want that aligned with the pin going into the frame properly. Okay, now he's putting in the nail. Take a look at it, and your hooks should be in parallel to each other, and you should be able to adjust the cam to your different reclining positions. Now you're going to take your spring and install it onto your frame. Just hooks right there, and you can use a pair of needle nose pliers, or if you got strong fingers you can just pull it up with your hand and hook it on. There you go. This completes the recliner mechanism or the adjustable seat mechanism. Make sure the tabs are bent straight up before you put your spring frame on. You can take a large flat blade screwdriver or a blunt round piece of rod and come in and tap those over. Try not to scratch up your powder coating if you can help it. You want to do the front and the rear and then the sides. This holds your spring frame to your seat frame. It's a simple design and it's worked well for a lot of years. That's the way Volkswagen's made seats for 30 years. Tap down those pieces of metal to where it's tight. And you got it. Now we're going to put a protection cover over the springs. Now the factory didn't use this, but we've found over the years that the coconut fiber falls through onto the floor and they rot from the inside out. Well, with this piece on there, it'll make your seat padding last a lot longer and your springs won't come up and cut your padding. You want to hog ring it in the front first, pull it tight to the rear, hog ring it in the back, and then just work all the way around the sides. And when you're done, it should be nice and tight. The edges will kind of spring up a little bit, but that's fine. Then take a razor blade and just trim around the edge, or a pair of scissors. Now we're putting on the coconut fiber padding. These are the correct paddings for the seats, made by the same vendor that manufactured them for Volkswagen. It's the only way to make a Volkswagen seat look like a Volkswagen seat. Foam rubber just doesn't do the trick. If you need, take a screwdriver or putty knife and kind of pry around the springs and get the lip of the pad down and over. Now we're going to put on a soft cover over the coconut fiber. The coconut fiber's got a little rough finish to it, and Volkswagen used a product called coach wadding. It was a reprocessed cotton product, but we're going to use we usually send you a piece of fake fur or something, and it works real well. In fact, I think it's a little better quality product. If you notice, our seat covers have on the cushions, we have a sewn-in stainless steel wire. Like the factory put a wire in them, but we actually use stainless so it won't rust. We flip the front of the seat cover to where the face side is out, and then try to keep the tail on the welt facing down. That's that little strip of material that's left over when you sew the edge, and you want it to be facing down on your cushion. Now the back, we don't flip it out yet. Then we go ahead and slip it on over the seat on the front, and so that little edge around it is all facing down. And as you go, you can kind of work it and try to get it down. Now in the back, you notice we put a little piece of material over the corner to reinforce it. And you want to stretch it out over the corner and flip it down. Be careful you don't stretch it too hard, you could tear it out. But take care, and then do the same thing on the other corner. Now you want to feel that edge and make sure that the tail of the welt is all facing down. Okay. Now look on the back edge. Make sure that the welt is centered on the seat frame. The welt meaning the beading around the edge. Okay. Then go to the front and start hooking the wire itself on over the hooks. You can feel the wire inside the seat cover right on the edge, and you want the wire to be right on the edge and then hook it over. Okay. So do both the fronts and then come around the side, pull the material up and towards the rear. Now we're going to hook it again on the rear, and making sure the material is pulled back tight so there's no wrinkles on the skirt of your seat. Get this wire up free and slip it through the side of the seat frame, because we'll be attaching that later. Repeat the same thing on the other side, pulling the skirt material towards the rear of the seat, making sure the wire is right at the very edge of the loop, and then hook it over your little tabs on your seat. Don't hammer the edges, the little tabs over yet, because you may need to readjust it if you find that when you pull the wire tight that there's some little ripples. You can readjust where you've hooked it on. Take a pair of pliers and pull it back, and then wrap it around your spring frame. That'll hold it in position. Then you can crimp it down so that it won't slip. 2 times around, then it'll hold it. And crimp it again. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Now you have one side secured. As you pull this side around, it will actually cinch up the cushion and make it uniform all the way around the edge. Now we're going to slip a wire into the back of the cushion. Now this is a stiff wire. You should have saved your original ones. If not, I suggest that you use a galvanized or stainless steel wire. You want about 1 inch short on each end so that you can fold the ends in. Make sure that it's aligned right again. Fold the end underneath your wire next. Now we're ready to secure the cushion in the back. We're going to hammer it over and we're going to wire it on. Don't stab your finger, but you just push right through the vinyl. You can take an awl and punch a hole in it, or sometimes you can just take the wire and push it through. Just pull this up fairly firm. You don't want to pull it too far, but you want it to where it's about the same tension all the way across. And then just wrap this wire around a few times and secure it. And stuff the wire down into your spring frame after you've laced it up there a bit. You look at a VW seat from the early 50s, this is exactly the way they were done. Do the same thing on the other side of your seat. Secure it. All you got to do is knock down the tabs and you've got that cover installed. That didn't take too long. And just do your other seat frame the same way. Don't forget to put your recliner cams on opposite. The seat you're looking at here is a right-hand seat. Check your edges and make sure that the tails are facing down. And you can check your release handle, make sure it's free, tap the knob onto the end of it. Spray a little WD-40 on that mechanism so that your handle works freely, so that your seat is locked and won't slide forward. On the front backrest, first thing we do is install the protective panel that goes behind the springs. Center it up there. And then put your backrest spring on top of your cardboard. Line it all up to where it's in the correct position all the way around. You can feel it. You want the same amount of cardboard sticking out on each side. And we're using a little electric drill with a Phillips tip on it. It makes it real easy. Just run the same screws back in. Now don't get them tight, leave it loose so that you can adjust it and get the cardboard to where it's the same distance all the way around. Put the other screws in up on the top edge there. You don't want to tighten them until all the screws are in and it's all aligned. Now that it's all aligned, you can tighten them all up. Now see, these springs are all painted and the frame is all powder coated, and that'll last a long time. The original springs just had cosmoline on them. Sometimes they rusted out. Now there's some tabs in there, similar to the tabs that were on the cushion to hold the spring frame. You want to tap those up through the hole in the cardboard, and then lay the seat frame the other direction, and then tap them right on over until they're tight. And that completes installing the spring. Next, you're going to put the protective ripstop vinyl over your spring frame before you put your padding on, just like you did on your cushion. Hog ring the top and bottom tight, and then go around the sides. Get plenty of hog rings in, and then just take and trim the material on. Now we're ready to put the seat padding on. Slip it down over from the top. Just flip the sides out and get it to come down over the springs. You can tap it down with your hands. Make sure that little tube goes underneath or it'll be sticking up. Then just tap it on down. Now we're ready to put on the protective fabric that makes it smooth. Line that up to where it just comes down to the bottom. You don't want a whole bunch of that material hanging out on the bottom part of your seat, or you'll have a hard time getting your cover over. Check your seat cover, make sure you have the front. That line is the back, so put it towards you, and then there's the front. Open it up, just put it on a couple inches and then go to the other side. Slide it on a couple inches. Now slide your whole cover all the way down. Just hold on to the sides and come down with it. Okay. Now massage it and just work the sides down nice and smooth until the cover is tight. And check the tails on the side of your seat cover to make sure that it's aligned and the tails aren't hanging out towards the face of the seat. Fits nice and tight. You got that protective board under it. That protective board is so that people bump the back of the seat, it won't tear out the cover. Alright. Get that tail flipped down. We're ready to put the wires in. Pay attention now while you're doing your seat that you've got your cover on there straight where it's not twisted. You want the same amount of welt on each side, and you want the welt to line up with the frame. Alright, first you hook on the face of it, the insert, the front part of your seat. Then turn your seat around and hook on the back. Just pull that up with your fingers and clip it over. Again, paying attention to the alignment. Make sure that your cover is centered over your seat frame. Now you're ready to bend these tabs over. Now you want to use a pair of blunt pliers. You don't want to use cutters. You want to roll that edge over, because if you cut that off, you got a big problem. Okay? Tap it down very carefully to where it rolls right on over. If you leave those sticking down when you go to put your seat together, those will tear your cushion. So be careful with that part of your seat. Now we massage it down and make sure that it all is lined up nice and straight. Jim's done a few hundred of these seats. You can snip off a little bit of that protective fabric. Snip off that trim. That's the way the factory seats look. Take a hog ring and grab onto your welt, and then reach down in and hook that on. You'll find a spring right underneath there. Go right down to that spring and squeeze it on. Careful how you do that, because you don't want to pull so much that it makes your seat pucker on the side of it. That's the way the factory did them. We're using professional hog ring pliers. Hog rings can be picked up at an upholstery supply, and you can get a pair of pliers there. We're cleaning up the threads here on the seat frame, getting ready to put the backrest onto the cushion. He's got a little die here that he's running over the threads. Now we're putting a piece of vinyl over the seat frame so that we can protect it. Because as you put the seat frame on, it is possible to tear the cover. There's the trick. Hook the arm down underneath the seat and then push the seat pad in as you carefully pull the frame down over it. Now see there, that can catch on it, so pull it back and get it down over it. Okay. Now you can pull your protection out once you get your seat frame in place. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the arms down over the bolts, and you can just pry that up and over with a flat blade screwdriver. See how he did that? Okay. Now turn your seat over. Be sure you're working on something that isn't going to tear your seat up that you've already worked on. You want it on a carpeted table. And then pry that side up and let it down. There you go. Now you want to put your cap nuts on and tighten them up. Well, we just about got a seat completed. Got one more nut to put on the side. And you ought to feel pretty good about your work now. You got a nice looking seat, and it'll last you a long time if you've done a good job painting it and making sure that your frame was in good shape. Now most people probably didn't realize that your seat would lean forward. Did you see how he did that? He lifted up on that little hook and leaned it forward. Make sure that that mechanism is lubed again. Like I said, put a little WD-40. We use Gibbs. Gibbs is a product that we advertise and sell. It's a penetrant, and it's the best darn product I've ever found for freeing up sticky parts. The seat release mechanism needs to work freely. When you move the handle, it should spring back easily. If not, your seat could slide. There you go.
This guy on there, this, push it on over like that, fitting on there like that. Same thing, this one here. A little bit of grease. What you want to do now? Pick your frame up, like so. Set it on each side. Take the seat in. Push it like that. And then you want to sit in it like this, like so. Pull on the lever and push it on back. And that is the installation of the seat. We have a seat cushion. You have the back down like that. What you need to do is take the last one off right here, pull it up, down, take this there here, move it straight down, and put this piece down into there, taking this right there, and on. Right there. This side here, off, back off like that, back there, there. They're all on. Taking this here and stretching it on. Okay, what you need to do on this corner, take a tool like that. Okay, spread it out. Kind of opens it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Makes it nice and easy so you can fit something in there. This piece then, take this tab right there, up like so, putting it down in just like that. Holding it down, you got it there, nice and level, even. And you got your nice little hammer there. like that. Okay. Causing it to be nice and pretty. After this, you need to put this guy in there, that guy there. Take it down here on these tabs, right there. Put this down, over and up, just like so. Take the hammer. Okay, here's our rivet set that we send, the 8 brackets that go on the side. Here's a piece of metal that we use to install these. A leather punch, which we use to punch out the holes if they're not all the way through. You can also use this to punch out holes. Hammers to compress the rivets. You got 2 different pieces. You got a nail and you have a cap. Take the nail, put it through the inside like so. Grab another one of the nails and put it in like that. We use a piece of metal to go in there just like so. Take this piece right there, put it on the holes. If they are a little difficult, just take this, go all the way through, make the hole a little bigger, and push it on like so, right there. Make it nice and straight. Take your cap, push it on like so. You can take one hammer right on top and hit it like so. You want to make sure that you take that out right there so you don't pinch your binding. And there we have it on there nice and neat. There's also another way that we do it. You can do it like this way is a lot easier. Nice and tight. Here's your material out and your canvas on the inside. What you want to do is go upside down. All your holes here are all pre-punched. What you want to do is take a piece of cardboard like so. What we do is we kind of take up a little bit of the area like that. And there, allowing, you know, a good 1.5 inches. We have a glue gun, which most people do not have. You're going to have to, you know, paint it on, but we have a glue gun, so we do it. After that, we'll take a tack strip that will supply with you if you need one. I'll put glue. This glue I'm using is a contact cement. What you want to do with this, you want to let it dry for about 3 to 5 minutes until you before you put it on the top. We got a piece of metal here that we put all of our rivets on. Our rivets, all the males. We'll take these and set them up.
Oh, okay, thanks. Was there any...
And I will take it and I'll put it over the tops of the rivets. All the way down to the last there. And I'll take this hole right there, put it on your first one, right there. Take the next one, the next one, the next, the next. Okay, there it is. Kind of push it down a little bit. And that's that part. Turn this upside down like that. Move it around. And we'll set this thing here right on top of the rivets. Like so. Take these little arms right here. And we'll tie them in. There. All nice and tight. Piece of wood. we will clamp it to the table. There we have all your rivets up through it. What you want to do now, take those caps, put them on top of those rivets, take that, just like so. And I'll show the other way of doing it with the air hammer. Put on there like that. What we do with the ends here, take that right there, super jet, a little bit on the end like that, pull it out and hold it. Take this corner, go around, come over, so hold it, just like so. What you want to do is just put them all in there. Rear bow, I'll go in first all the time. What you want to do first is grab your straps. Wind them right there. Here's our strap. This is our front. You want to take this right here with a flap like that on to the rear bow. On over. And we have this, that, over like that, front, in like that, down, in there like there, to the middle, to where it meets, right there. And this part will go on to the frame. At this point, the plastic washer goes on both sides, and we'll put the top frame on. Here like this. Here, go on. Put it on like that. Nice and tight. Here we have the front. Go on to the frame, like so. And you're on. Just leave it like that. At this point, take the top frame up, pulling the back like that. Taking the sides, spreading as you go, and pushing it out. All these grommets here come down on top, and then stretch this one around, stretch that one around. Take these little guys right here, there, onto this frame, right there, there. Up here we have there, up to the front. Right there, take your latch to your hook, take it down, like so, put your pin inside, latch it. We got the little straps, just like the original. Push them all through, just like the original top. The original way was just straight down. Now some people, because of the way it moves, it's kind of a little loose. You can take this piece, push it up to the back, which makes it tighter. It's a little bit tighter. Take this tape off. Pop your top. This, hold your side off, side off, side off, side off. Loops out, all the way around the back side. Take your sides like that, right there. Hold right here, hold right there, pull up and off. Walk the top back, take it like this, hold it like so, there. Come back here. And what you can do is put a piece of material inside to protect the window, but we don't have one on hand right now. You just take the top at the seam. Put it like this, down there, like this. At this point, you want to take your sides in as well as this, causing it to be smaller so it fits inside. Okay. Real small rolls, real small rolls, real small rolls. And what you want to do is push this in there, just like that.
Next thing you do is take your top frame covers and put them over the frame. These frame covers are some pieces we're now making. The factory ones were getting hard to come by. We made these out of ABS plastic, about twice as thick as the originals. They look like the originals and work real well. But what these do, these protect your frame when it's folded down so you don't have, the steel sticking out here at the end. And when you put your top boot on, it makes a nice smooth surface.
Now Jimmy's going to install the top frame hold-down straps. It's marked up on the one end. Make sure that faces up. The teeth on the buckle need to face to the rear of the car, up into the rear of the car. And what you do, you slip that through the loop from the back. And then these rivet on, because once they're on, they don't need to be changed until they're worn out or rotten or whatever. And these will last you a lot of years. So just put them up there. And in this case, you put the rivets through. You can either hammer them with a couple ball peen hammers, or you can squeeze them with a pair of vice grips. And if you're real careful, you can squeeze the rivet to where it looks good still with a pair of vice grips. With the strap attached to the inside of the car, then you come out to the back side, and it just goes through that little loop right above your tail light. And come back around through the buckle and cinch it down. This keeps your top frame from jumping around. Next we're going to show you our top boot. It's not necessary to have tie-down straps when you're using our top boot because it basically does the same thing, holds your top frame in place. These top boots come in a bag that you can keep under your hood. Nice way to store it. If it's cold outside, I'd suggest you put it out in the sun and let the sun soften it before you install it. This top boot has our new grommet strap design. There's a little swell here in the sides of it, and when it fits through the loop, it holds it in tight. It's much easier than folding straps back like we used to on the old convertible top straps. The boot installs in all the loops just like the original top itself did, and doesn't take too long to take off and put back on. And this is what it looks like installed. Like I said, if it had been out in the sun, it'd be softened up and it wouldn't have quite so many little wrinkles in it, but it's pretty darn nice.
Looks like we have one Thing Shop show bar that is ready for installation. Got the invoice from when I ordered it. Looks like the hardware's on this side. We're going to start by giving us a little bit of elbow room by folding the windscreen forward.
John's removing the duck boards right now. They need to be taken out so that the seats can be pulled all the way forward to remove them. As you know, there is a small clip down next to the seat that you push down on the clip and the seat will slide forward. Also, there's a spring under the seat that'll need to be removed. John's now lifting up the clip and the rod that holds the door on. With a little bit of twisting and swinging the door as far forward as you can, it'll lift off very easily. The next thing we have to do is remove all the packaging that was on the show bar when it was delivered. Be careful removing this wrap that you don't scratch the new powder coat finish on your show bar. It'd be a good idea to open up the bag of hardware and pour it into some type of a separator. In this case, we used the top from our toolbox. The next step is to remove the seatbelt clip from the doorpost panel. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver. Unscrew them like you would a light bulb and they come off very easily.
Now that we're ready to install the show bar, with some assistance, we're going to be moving the show bar to the inside of the car. That kind of angle it and twist.
There we go. Perfect.
The next thing we need to do is bolt the center portion of the show bar to the car. What you'll want to do is put these bolts in finger tight first, and don't tighten anything with a wrench until the entire bar is installed. The bar will sit very easily right into the back. On the two sides, put them right behind the brackets that were intended to hold the machine guns. The next thing we need to do is bring the two cross members and install them from front to rear. Once the cross members are in place, the bolt holes in the front and rear will line up and you'll be able to install the bolt. John's going to install one of the top bolts in the show bar. He's bringing the bolt from the inside to the outside. Next step will be to screw one of the castle nuts onto the thread. Be sure you only do this finger tight. Some people may prefer the look of the castle nut and other people may like the regular nut. As you can see with this look, you have the hex nut and the washer showing on the outside. It's really a personal preference, so whichever way you think is best is the way you should do it. What were you saying about the connection here on the rear bar?
What we thought we would do is center the bar about 1 inch in from each one of these little raised panels here to make sure it's in the center. Before we drill the holes here, we probably should go in the engine compartment and see if there's anything in the way back there. Maybe that harness is in the way. See, John, right here, that harness runs right along here. We probably should move that away from the drilling area.
Oh, you're absolutely. We can disconnect those or remove those 2 clips, and it'll fall away from the wall.
Let's try that. I'll stabilize the bar while you drill the holes.
The trick on installing it is don't drill your holes until you get everything lined up. It all has to be centered in the back and bolted on up on the front posts. Leave all the bolts loose and then assemble.
Maybe we should go take a look, see where it came out.
Yes.
See, the hole came through right here. It's in a great spot. It's not interfering with anything. Stick the washer on there first.
Can somebody hold the bolt? Oh, you're holding it?
I got it.
Okay, one thing you'll want to do is reach up underneath above your tires and make sure before you drill the bolts that there's no obstructions underneath. Make sure no one's running any wires or cables or anything like that up underneath the fender. You want to look underneath it here because in most of the things there's a vacuum line that runs underneath it here to the front of the car. That vacuum line on a lot of the things has been disconnected over the years, but you want to be sure that it is off to the side and out of the way. Another important thing when you're drilling these holes, be sure you wear some sort of a safety glass. Next step, install the bolts into the back of the roll bar. Take this mounting plate, it's going to bring it up underneath of the car.
Let me hold the bolts for you.
It's going to set the plate up underneath and go ahead and secure it with the 4 bolts. There's someone up top holding those bolts to be sure that they don't twist and turn while he puts them in. You can see this is a very easy installation. Okay, on the other side of the car, Chuck is installing the other bolts and the other plates. It seems that he can reach over the top and do it himself.
And put the nut on the bottom at the same time.
If you really don't have any friends to help, I'm sure you can do it. The next thing we're doing is putting the bolts in the front plate. As you can see, the bolts are being held in. John's underneath putting in the steel plate and the 4 nuts. Our installation here is just about complete. Chuck and John are just tightening up these last bolts in the front. The very last thing that'll happen is the 4 bolts that are in the upright post will be tightened down. And that'll be it. The show bar will be installed.
Well, now that we've got everything drilled, the bolts, washers, and nuts installed, we're going to go ahead and tighten them up with a 17mm wrench and socket, and then this will complete the job. Sturdy and firm. Quite the rigid ride. I can't wait to take it out on the road. Just flip this windshield up. There. Looks like there's plenty of clearance between the convertible, and I love the offset angle on the front upright post. We're done. The doors are on, the seats are back in, the duck boards are back in, and the roll bar is fully installed, and it really seems to make a difference in the way the car feels.